All right, what's up, guys? What is going down? Big Feist is in here, made it. Eric D's in here, Monroe's in here, Chris is in here, Howard, what up? What up, DK? Well, hey, happy Labor Day to everybody. Jason's popping in. What's going down, boys? Stoked Big Feist is in here because he is at my cousin Gary's house, and the reception there is not that great for internet. So we weren't sure if he was going to make it. So stoked he's in here. But guys, hey, it is Labor Day. And, so we're going to keep this one short. Not that All right, guys. So I got booted off right off the bat. Hopefully it's back. I don't know. That didn't last very long now, did it? I called Mel during the lockdown. I said, shut everything down. Whatever you're on, shut it down. I don't know what's going on. We shouldn't have problems like that, but hopefully we're back. But as I was saying, it's Labor Day weekend, and we all should be hanging out with family and friends. So we're just gonna do this one short. Let's go for 30 minutes or so. That way you guys have time to kick it with family and friends. I'm sure everybody's in. And the way it is some people work all week, and you get Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday off. So to get another day off, Monday off is a blessing. And I don't want to steal all your time. But like I said, I didn't want to skip. That's right. That's what I was saying before I got cut off. We missed last weekend. That's why I wanted to jump on here today, even though if it's only for 30 minutes or so, because next weekend we have to go to Tennessee for a friend's wedding, and I think we're driving back on Sunday. So if I make it home in time, if I can get home, I think I'm coming home either on Sunday or Monday. But anyway, the point is if I can't do next week's live, I didn't want to be gone for 3 weeks because we missed last week. I didn't want to skip this week and then be gone next week again. So I'm going to try to make it next week, but I can't promise you because I think we're driving home on Monday. But we'll try to make it. So that's why we're just getting on here real quick just to say what up. It'll just be real quick, 30 minutes. I got to just honestly, so much has happened since the last time I've even been on here, since we've been gone. It's going to be just a lot of just updates, and then we'll jump into some questions and stuff like we normally do. And then if I don't get back next week, we'll pick up the week after, and then we're home. We got no plans after next week. Just September's just been a really crazy month. Kind of feels like the old days when it's just like one thing after the next. But just to jump in real quick, kind of pick up on what's going down. The number plate giveaway, it was ended on the 31st. So M7 is picking all the winners. So they're picking the winners. It's probably better because I probably would have picked all the names that I see week after week, and it wouldn't have been fair for all the other people. So they're picking the winners. They're going to send me the names. So all these plates will be getting sent out here in the next week or so. So that is going through. Like I said, it is Labor Day weekend, and just a shout out to everybody. It's been, we've had a sale going on all weekend on merch for both sites, for both RFMX and Marked Collective. It's 20% off. You don't need a discount code. Just go to the site at checkout, and it'll automatically give you guys 20% off. So thank you for everybody that does support the merch. I've been packing orders all weekend. So super stoked on that. And, like I said, it's both for RFMX and Marked Collective. That is our ministry, merch. It's markcollective.com, and 100% of the proceeds go to our nonprofit, which is Ronnie and Mel Ministries. And just a quick little shout out on this. So while I was gone, let me get a drink, in New York, because I went to New York, then I went to New Jersey, and then I came home. The Ronnie and Mel YouTube channel hit 100,000 subscribers. Dude, that's so big. I was tripping. I'm like, dude, I can't believe we hit 100,000. So, hey, big thanks to everybody that's been a part of that channel and has supported us and that's subscribed. And if you have never subscribed and you even just want to check us out, check it out. It's a Christian channel. Me and my wife both weren't raised in the church. We have testimony. Our testimonies are on there, how we became believers in Jesus. And we made a channel to help people that are kind of like us, that just kind of like don't necessarily, like, what are the next steps? We have a Bible for Beginners series. We have a How to Pray series. We have a series on relationships, the Christian life. And we just recently, as you can see, it's been a couple months since we ever posted. We've been on a little break here, but Mel has a podcast called Mornings with Mel. We're going to start posting all of her podcasts that she did She did them. She did a daily podcast for like 2 or 3 months. She's taking a break from that. But we're going to start posting those up, and then this winter we're going to get back. We're going to start a new series, and I'm not going to tell you what the series is yet because me and Mel are kind of going through and deciding what we're going to be. But we have plans to get back going on this page. But just, hey, big thanks for everybody that supported us. And if you want to go check it out. And if you guys dig it and like it, be sure to subscribe and show us some love. Well, like I was saying, so I went to New York FCA Motocross Camp, and I wanted to put up this picture. It's going to be a big picture, so you ain't going to see me for a second. But check this out. This track was ridiculous. So I was an hour outside of – I flew into Syracuse, an hour outside of Syracuse, New York, so way upstate. Let me pull this up. Look at this place. So this right here was a downhill. So basically the track ran way over here, came down this downhill like this, and these are gnarly ruts. I mean, you can't really see them in the photo, but these are ruts. And then it hooked back like this. This was a big uphill tabletop, which was super fun. Like third on it on a 450, pretty sweet. And then it went way back in the woods, and then it dropped back down this hill. And you kind of can hit this little bump and skip down this hill, and then it went way back in the woods again. But this place, I've been to probably 3 different FCA motocross. I'm gonna just cut this out so I can talk to you for a second. But dude, next level track. So I've been to, so FCA is Fellowship Christian Athletes. Some of you guys might have heard that. They do motocross camps, and I've been working with those guys. I even worked with them before I even was done my motocross career or freestyle. Went to Indiana camp, but since I retired and moved to the Midwest, I've been going to the Oklahoma camp every year because I can drive to it. It's close enough. But then I got the guy that puts on Ed, that puts on the FCA New York camp, hit me up, and I was like, I watched the video, I'm looking at this track, and I'm like, man, that place is like pretty sweet. And I'm thinking like, dude, it's not even that far from Big Feist's house, and I haven't been home in the summer in a really long time, so I'm thinking like, shoot, maybe it'd be good to go there, do this camp, and swing by Big Feist's house. So I did, and I'm really glad I did because the community of people that were part of that camp FCA is just top notch regardless. Like all the camps I've ever done, just great group of people. But it was awesome. I'm really glad I did it, and there's a good chance I might be back there in the future. We'll just have to check on schedules and stuff. But if you're in that area and you ever want to go to motocross camp, whether you ride motocross or off-road, because they do both. So you can sign up and do the motocross camp, and you could do the off-road, which is basically like hare scramble enduro stuff. And I got the last day, so I was there for 2 days teaching. The last day before I flew home, all the enduro instructors put together a ride and took me out in the woods. And I'm not even gonna lie, I had more fun in the woods than I did on the motocross track. The woods up there was sick. Like if I lived up there, I'd probably be a woods rider. It was so fun. So shout out to you woods guys. You guys have some sweet trails up in upstate New York. It was super fun. So I got to do that, and I got to ride. I rode a 450. I think I rode a 2019 KTM 450, which it basically felt like my bike. It was really similar. Forks were a little bit stiffer, so I made a little adjustment, and I felt good on it. But then when they took me on the trail ride, I don't know if you guys have I've never even heard of this bike, but if you guys are into woods riding, you probably know about it. It was a KTM, but it was a 252 stroke free ride. That's what it was called, a 250 free ride. So it looked like almost like a trials bike. So some of you woods guys, and I never heard of it. And when they were showing me like, hey, we're gonna take you on this ride, and everyone was hyping it up. All the dudes who went last year on the motocross trip were like, oh, dude, you're going out with the woods dudes. And like, oh, God. I'm like, you going? And some of them were like, nah, I went last year. I'm not going. They're like, they're going to take you on the gnarliest stuff. Da, da, da. And I'm like looking at this bike they're giving me, and this thing's like small. It kind of looked like a child's bike. It was really little and light. And it's a 2-stroke. And if you guys know that follow me, I like 4-stroke. So I'm thinking like, man, I'm going to go out and ride in these gnarly hills because it's mountains out there up and, through the rocks with a 2-stroke. I'm like, I need a 4-stroke. But when I got on this bike, this 2-stroke, I don't know if it's just the way it's geared or not, or the way it's set up, it lugs like a 4-stroke. I was able to climb the gnarliest uphills with the biggest rocks and roots like nothing. Like I was put this thing in first and second and just creep up the hills. It was so fun. Like seriously, if you ever get a chance to go ride one of those bikes, and it was super soft. The suspension was so soft, it sucked up every rock, every root. And I like, seriously, it made my weekend. It was an awesome weekend. I got to share my testimony. And then there was just a great group of people. Pastor Frank he was just awesome. Like, I love that dude. We really connected, had a lot of good conversation. Everybody, Marty had hooked my bike up, Ed, Daniel is the owner of the property. It's 500 acres out there out in New York. And it was seriously, I'm glad I went. So super stoked on that. And now I lost my place. You know how I kept saying, hey, I'm going to label these things so I don't mess up? Well, guess what? I didn't label them. All right, so let me see here. This is probably me and Mel. That's the track. I'm just trying to scroll down. So what here is next? All right, so then I took off. So basically went from New York flew back to New Jersey, see Big Feist. And I was only an hour flight. And I actually got to hook up with some of my boys that I grew up racing with and riding with back in the day. So I hooked up with Jerry Sipe, longtime friend of mine. Some guys that are from Jersey know who Sipe is. Sipe's been around forever. Sipe's in his 60s, and he still rides. So he was pro when I rode 80s. And so I got to go hook up. Here's his bike right here. Let me ride. He's got a brand new 2022 Kawasaki 450. So I got to ride that. And I love Cowies. To be honest with you, I rode Cowies in 2014. And I just felt good on it, dude. It took me like a lap. I mean, I was in the Jersey sand pits. And I haven't rode sand in forever because it ain't sandy in the Midwest and it's not sandy in Cali. So it's been a while since I rode sand. And the track that I rode was owned by a quad rider. And so it was more set up for like quads, had big sandy bowl turns and stuff. So, but still super fun. Super glad I got to do that. Let me see. I don't even know what I got up next here. All right, so here's what happened. Here's another thing. You guys are probably looking at this picture and like, what the heck? So basically, we got to Jersey, and my dad has been, so keep Big Feist in your prayers. My dad has been, he was actually supposed to come out here and see me, and he didn't get to come. That was another reason why I was like, oh, I'm going to go do this New York camp because I'm going to get a chance to swing by and see Big Feist. He was supposed to come out here, and he wasn't feeling well and canceled his trip. So... And it's been like he's been thinking he's had like vertigo, you know, he's getting off balance and feeling dizzy, throwing up. So anyway, I fly in. The first 2 days I'm there, no problem. Big Feist is doing great. We hang out day 1, day 2. We're doing everything together. He's, comes out to the motocross track with me. Everything's good. But on the third morning, we go to dinner with my cousin, or not dinner, breakfast with my cousin. And on the way home, he's like, oh man, I'm starting to feel dizzy and I don't feel good. Well, we get him back to the house. He just instantly is done, throwing up, like can't stand up, can't walk on his own. So he had an ear appointment because that's what he was thinking. Like, maybe this vertigo's from he had an ear infection or something. So we're gonna bring him to the ear doctor, see what's going on. So we basically take him to the ear doctor, and the ear doctor, I bring him in, and I had to help him in. Like he couldn't even walk in. I'm like bringing him in, like full like army carry already. Like get him in there. And the doctor runs some tests and checks out his ear. And he's like instantly like, dude, you need to bring your dad to the ER like right now. He's like, and my dad, like he has 4 stents, pacemaker. We have a history of heart disease in his family. Like his dad died at 48 of a heart attack. His brother died at 68, I believe. Like, so he's looking at the records like, dude, you got a history of heart disease. You got all these issues. You're on all these medications. What I see in yours is not looking like you need to go. So they basically sent us straight into the ER. So we left the ear doctor, went straight to the ER, and he made a call. And luckily he did because the ER, you know how the ER is on. I think it was like a Friday, Saturday night or something. It was packed, dude. They brought us right in, boom, to run and test, CAT scan, all this stuff. Thank God. They thought he had a stroke. So basically the ear doctor was thinking he had a stroke. So he's like, hey, bring him in, and I'm not even gonna think about what I need to treat until I can figure out what's going on or rule out stroke once I can figure that out. So anyway, Big Feist had to spend a night in the hospital. So that's where that photo came from. So it kind of threw a little monkey wrench in our weekend, but thank God, where'd that go? But thank God, everything checked out to be good. But just keep Big Feist in your prayers. I mean, like I said, heart disease has just been a thing in our family that we all deal with. But he's doing good. So it checked out, no stroke, thank God. And now they're going to figure out, he's going to the ear doctor this week, and they're going to figure out what's causing so it's basically, they believe it's vertigo, and they got to figure out what's causing it. So now they think it's an inner ear infection somehow. So hopefully going to narrow that down and help him. But, I mean, I've been talking to him every day, and so far he is feeling good and just a little bit of dizziness, but nothing like, when I was there. It was it was not good. It was crazy. Basically went from just chilling to going down. All right, so I basically once big fight. So I extended my stay. My dad goes into the hospital. He's spending the night. I'm supposed to fly home the next day. My cousin Gary's going to bring me to the airport, and I'm like, I didn't even get to say bye to my dad. Basically they said, hey, Big Fights is staying. Big Fights like, hey, go get my phone charger. My phone's going to die. Grab my overnight bag. So I take off from the hospital, from the ER room, and jam back to the house. And the hospital's like 30 minutes from my house. It's actually the hospital that I was born in, Sore Memorial Hospital. It was pretty crazy. I was thinking that the whole time. I'm like, it's weird. This is the hospital I was born in. And I run home, but by the time I got back, they already moved him from the ER to basically to the hospital bed, and they're like, nope, no visitors, can't see him. And I'm like, and I literally missed him by 10 seconds. And I'm like, dude, I didn't even get to say bye to him. I'm like, they haven't ruled out stroke yet at this point. They did some tests, and they're like, okay, there's no tumor, but we don't know. You got to run some tests more. So I'm like, dude, I'm not leaving. I'm not going to just dip out of New Jersey tomorrow morning without knowing what's up with my pops. And so I actually extended my trip, right up until the day before my anniversary. And that's what this photo's from. I basically, and everything, and like I said, Big Fights, the very next day, he was like back to normal. I came to the hospital. I was there first thing in the morning, and it was like nothing happened. He was totally back to normal, hanging out. And they kept him all day. I went down to the beach, hung out on the boardwalk, went and had lunch at this little tavern up the street just to kill time, because I was like, it's freezing in the airport, in the hospital. I had to get out of there, but made it back home just in time. And it was my anniversary, so as I was saying, so much was going on. 5-year anniversary. Me and Mel celebrated on the 3rd, which was really good. We went to this restaurant called Eddie V's, and I thought this restaurant was a Kansas City thing, but it's not. So if you have an Eddie V's restaurant in your city, I recommend it. Like, dude, take your wife there, take your girlfriend there, whatever. Take someone there. Dude, this place was legit. I've been to a lot of good restaurants, and this is top notch. It could rank with the best of the best. Totally worth it. A little bit on the high end side, so you spend a little bit more money, but worth it, especially for special occasions. So yeah, so good to get home and get a night in with the wife and celebrate our anniversary. But other than that, another thing coming up is, before we jump in, we're going to talk about the races real quick. We got the September 25th class coming up. It's on the website. There's only 3 spots left. A couple spots are already sold. So that's coming up real quick. We're going to try to do it at Grain Valley. And if we can't do it at Grain Valley, maybe Hillsdale private track. But that's up on the site as well. And then other than that, let's jump in to, because I talked about the road trip. I'm leaving, like I said, I'm leaving. I'm going to be gone. So like I said, I might not make it back for you guys on next Monday. But if not, after that, we'll be back online. And right after that, so basically, I got to leave Thursday. We're going on the road trip, wedding. We get back. There's the Red Bull event. So the Red Bull event's coming up right here in Kansas City. Well, not Kansas City, but Kansas. It's South Kansas. And I'm going to be down there. Twitch is coming in town. Bierman's coming in town. Sipes coming in town. I'm not sure who else is on that list, but it's probably going to be a lot of the same guys as last year. But it's called the Red Bull Imagine, I believe it's called. And they did that last year here in Kansas. So that's coming up. So basically going to go on the road trip, celebrate my friends getting married, come back and go straight down to South Kansas to the Red Bull event and hang out with the boys and see how all that goes. But yes, like I said, things are wide open this month. And then the following weekend after that's going to be the September 25th class. And then other than that, there's been 2 weeks of races going down, and Roxon lost. So let's just look at this. So here's 450 class. Let me move this so you can see the points. So obviously Ferranda's won the championship. Everybody's watching and seen it. And it's wrapped up because there's a 50-point gap. So that means Roxon, when you got a 50-point lead going into the last race, you can't lose the championship. So Ferranda's wrapped it up. But here's the deal. Like, I'm thinking, you know what? Roxon didn't have his greatest season. Let's be honest. He had a lot of highs and lows. He had good days and bad days. But dude still finished second in the points, even though he didn't even have his best year. And I was thinking about that on Sunday at Fox Raceway. He if you guys watch the races, he faded big time, probably because of heat. But dude, the dude still finished on the podium both times. He got third the last moto. So I'm like, that's pretty like, dude, his bad days are still podium days. So says a lot about the dude. So hey, he's still my guy. Ferrandis, we got to give him. Hey, I'll give him a shout out because dude, you can't knock it. The dude puts in his work and he's a beast. So it is what it is. He wasn't who I wanted to win, but he did win, and you can't take it away from him. He worked hard and got what he worked for. So Tomac rounding out the top 3, Sexton getting the 4th, Webb 5th. Hey, Christian Craig, not so bad right there. Top 6, Muscan, Savache, Barsha, Plessinger. But let's look at 250, because 250 is in my opinion, I mean, what is this right here? 23 points. So you got a 23-point lead with Lawrence and Cooper. I mean, I think Lawrence is going to take it. I mean, he was pretty much smooth as ice all weekend, and I think he's going to wrap it up, in my opinion. It looks like Cooper's a champion, but it looks like maybe some of the pressure might have got to him a little bit, because it seems like the last couple weekends he's